in the boundless, block-built expanse of the Roblox universe, where towering skyscrapers touched cloud-pixelated skies and oceans shimmered with geometric precision, lay a legend whispered amongst seasoned adventurers: the Shifting Canopy. This vast, emerald-hued forest was unlike any other. Its trees, composed of perfectly stacked emerald and jade blocks, stood so close they formed an impenetrable roof, allowing only shafts of golden sunlight to pierce the gloom. Yet, the true marvel and terror of the Shifting Canopy was its notorious habit of rearranging itself, shifting paths, conjuring new clearings, and swallowing old trails with the stealth of a digital ghost. Many adventured in. Few claim to have truly mastered its whims. Spark, a young explorer whose avatar boasted a cap adorned with a rare, luminescent mushroom and sturdy, blocky boots, had heard the tales. Spark had scaled the highest peaks of Obby Mountain, navigated the treacherous lava flows of Crimson Keep, and even delved into the frosty depths of the Crystal Caverns. But the Shifting Canopy remained an uncharted mystery, a challenge that hummed in the very core of Spark's adventurous spirit. Today, with a backpack filled with energy bars, a multi-tool pickaxe, and an unshakable sense of curiosity, Spark stood at its emerald threshold, the air suddenly cooler, carrying the scent of damp earth and verdant blocks. The first few hours were exhilarating. Spark's boots crunched on perfectly square leaves, each step echoing softly in the immense silence. Gigantic, moss-covered tree trunks rose like ancient pillars, their emerald foliage forming an endless ceiling overhead. Spark marveled at the geometric perfection of it all, collecting rare lumina orbs that pulsed with gentle light from the forest floor, and even spotting a herd of docile, cubic deer grazing on crystalline moss. The path, though winding, seemed clear, marked by a scattering of unique, amethyst-colored pebbles. Spark felt a thrill of discovery, believing perhaps the stories of the Shifting Canopy's unpredictability were mere exaggerations. A faint, almost imperceptible tremor, a low thrumming sound, passed through the ground beneath Spark's feet, but the young explorer simply attributed it to the deep earth currents of the block world. As the golden shafts of sunlight began to stretch, turning crimson and then fading to twilight hues, Spark decided it was time to turn back. Remembering the amethyst pebbles, Spark started to retrace his steps, but a sudden chilling realization hit. Where the familiar trail of amethyst pebbles should have been, there was nothing but a solid wall of dense emerald green foliage. The path, undeniably, had vanished. Spark's blocky heart gave a jolt. This wasn't a trick of light. The very landscape had transformed. A wave of unease, cold and stark, washed over Spark. This was the Shifting Canopy, true to its ominous reputation. Spark took a deep breath, trying to calm the rising panic. Retreating a few paces, the explorer scanned the immediate surroundings. Perhaps a turn had been missed. No, the familiar cluster of 3 ancient gnarled trees that had marked a specific turn now stood far to the left, their shapes subtly altered, their positions shifted. It was as if the forest was a giant living puzzle, constantly reconfiguring itself. Spark decided a higher vantage point was necessary. With nimble movements, the explorer began to climb the nearest towering tree, hands gripping the rough, blocky bark. Up and up, until the emerald canopy thinned slightly, offering a glimpse of the distant pixelated horizon. But even from this height, the view offered no solace. The vast sea of green blocks stretched endlessly, undulating subtly as if the forest itself was breathing. There were no discernible landmarks, no familiar peaks or distant structures to guide the way. Looking down at the point where the tree had initially been rooted, Spark noticed the ground had subtly shifted, a small, new stream now gurgling where dry earth had been moments before. The tremor was back, stronger this time, a deep, resonating hum that vibrated through the very air. Night descended swiftly, painting the forest in hues of deep indigo and shimmering silver. As the twin moons of the Robloxian sky emerged, the shifting canopy took on an ethereal glow. Strange bioluminescent flora pulsed with soft light, casting long, dancing shadows. Whirring, block-shaped fireflies darted through the air, their tiny lights creating mesmerizing patterns. Spark felt a pang of loneliness, a growing sense of being utterly lost in a boundless, ever-changing maze. The energy bars provided sustenance, but the creeping exhaustion was a heavier burden. Every direction seemed to lead to another impenetrable wall of trees, or a sudden newly formed ravine. Spark tried following the faint silvery glow of a new type of moss that seemed to grow only on the north side of trees. But even that compass-like consistency wavered as the trees themselves seemed to rotate. Hours bled into what felt like an eternity. Spark tried leaving trails of lumina orbs, only to find them swallowed by new growths, or simply appearing further away than they should be, as if the ground itself had stretched. Desperation began to creep in, a cold tendril of fear. Spark slumped against a towering trunk, feeling the deep, continuous hum that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the forest. It wasn't just a vibration, it felt like a low, resonant song. And then, a thought, a flicker of an idea sparked in Spark's weary mind. The hum. It wasn't random. It changed ever so slightly, in pitch and intensity, and it seemed to be strongest when Spark moved in a certain direction, then it would fade. Spark rose, pushing away the weariness. Perhaps the shifting canopy wasn't entirely chaotic. Perhaps, beneath its unpredictable surface, there was a subtle, almost spiritual current. Spark began to move slowly, testing the hum. A step this way, the hum deepened. A step that way, it dulled. It was like a giant, invisible compass, responding to Spark's own presence. It required immense focus, a complete surrender to the forest's subtle vibrations. Spark closed eyes for a moment, letting the sound wash over. It pulled, gently, insistently, towards a direction that felt right, though visually, it looked like any other path into the dense foliage. As dawn approached, painting the pixelated sky with hues of soft orange and pink, the hum intensified, resonating deeply within Spark's chest. The air grew warmer, the scent of the forest shifted, becoming less damp and more open. Spark pushed through a final curtain of thick, shimmering vines, eyes squinting against the rising sun. And there it was, not the edge of the forest, but a massive, ancient oak tree, unlike any other in the canopy. Its trunk was not emerald, but a rich, deep brown, and etched into its bark were glowing golden symbols, the ancient symbols of the Robloxian compass. The hum quieted, settling into a gentle, resonant throb. Spark touched the tree, feeling its solid, unwavering presence. It was the heart of the shifting canopy, the anchor in its chaotic dance, and radiating from it, in all four cardinal directions, were faint, shimmering trails of light, like pathways woven from starlight. Each led outwards, towards the known world. Spark felt a surge of triumph and profound gratitude. The forest hadn't been trying to trap, it had been teaching. Choosing the trail that led towards the rising sun, Spark walked out of the shifting canopy, the luminescent cap a beacon against the fading starlight. The dense, ever-changing blocks gave way to familiar, stable ground. Relief washed over Spark, mixed with a newfound understanding. The shifting canopy wasn't just a place to survive. It was a testament to the unpredictable beauty of the Roblox universe. It taught that sometimes, the most reliable guide isn't what you see with your eyes, but what you feel with your spirit. It proved that even in chaos, there could be a hidden order, a secret rhythm. Spark left the forest, not just with rare lumina orbs, but with a deeper connection to the blocky world, a lesson in observation, perseverance, and the quiet wonder of listening to the world's hidden songs. The true adventure, Spark realized, wasn't just about reaching the destination, but about learning to dance with the journey, no matter how much the path might shift.